Hello and a warm welcome to a brand new episode of South Central. My name is Jude Sanith, and for over 2 months now, we at ET Now have been bringing you India's first and only news bulletin exclusively dedicated to news and updates from South India. That's what South Central is all about. On that note, let's take a look at everything making headlines at this hour. Cyclone Ditva weakens into a deep depression, but rain clouds batter parts of Tamil Nadu, Tirupati and Chittoor in neighbouring Andhra are also on heavy rainfall alert. Enforcement Directorate issues show cause notice to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and officials of the Kerala Infra Investment Fund Board over foreign exchange rule violations involving 466 crore rupees. Companies may not be spending big on AI, but are releasing smaller budgets to automate smaller workflows using AI agents, says Bengaluru-based IT services firm Kyndryl in an ET Now exclusive. Telangana government will set up exclusive micro, small and medium enterprise parks for women in each of the state's assembly constituencies in a bid to promote women entrepreneurship, says the state's IT minister. And as Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is all set to meet with his deputy DK Shivakumar in the second round of a breakfast meeting tomorrow, DKS tells Times Network what's on the menu. Well, it's the second round of what can only be termed as breakfast diplomacy in Karnataka, just days after Chief Minister Siddaramaiah met with his deputy DK Shivakumar in an attempt to ease tensions between the two at breakfast. It's the turn of DK Shivakumar to invite Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to his home for breakfast. Remember, both leaders met for breakfast at Siddaramaiah's residence last week, with Shivakumar now extending an invite to the Chief Minister at his residence. In fact, that breakfast is all set to take place tomorrow, but the big question that remains is all well between Karnataka's two tallest leaders? Times Network's Neha Hebal and Pratibha caught up with both Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar to find out what's on the menu and what's brewing between the high-profile power tussle in the state.
What's on the menu, sir, for the breakfast meeting tomorrow?
CM loves nati koli.
Okay.
Nati chicken. Village chicken.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Let me see.
Sir, of course.
I don't know what my wife will do.
Sir, on the political aspect of things, sir, I have to ask you, what's on the political menu tomorrow, sir? The discussions that are likely to be held?
All discussion we have finished.
Okay. Sir, when are you likely to go to Delhi, sir? Is that on the cards after tomorrow's meeting, or?
It is on the cards. Let me see.
Okay. And would the CM also be going with you, sir? Or?
I want to I will discuss with him.
Okay, okay. Last question to you, sir. The BJP, refuses to let this die down, sir. They've been saying that focus is so much on the chair that development has taken a backseat, sir. How do you see this?
Who said development has taken? BJP wants something to happen, but they have been, they know that they have, they could not succeed in whatever the attempt they have made.
Okay.
And they are trying to create that there is a big groupism.
Yeah.
Groupism is there in BJP, not in Congress.
The last question to you, sir. Mr. DK Suresh is coming back, sir, today. There was a lot of political buzz about his visit to Delhi as well, sir.
He is a parliament member, ex-parliament member. He had to go, a lot of papers, his accounts. Something all has to be He has to settle himself. And he has gone there, what I can tell.
It was nothing to do, sir, with the current political developments in the state, you're saying? Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, we now know that Siddaramaiah's favorite breakfast dish is natakori, which hopefully should be on DK Shivakumar's breakfast menu tomorrow. But incidentally, my colleague Pratibha also caught up with the Chief Minister himself, Siddaramaiah, to find out if all was well within the Karnataka Congress and, more importantly, within the state government. Take a look.
Sir, do you want to speak on tomorrow's breakfast meeting? What do you expect? Sir, tomorrow's breakfast meeting?
I'm expecting,
Yes, sir. So how?
because he invited me
Yes,
for
sir.
the breakfast tomorrow. I'm going there.
The BJP says they'll bring a no-confidence motion. BJP says they'll bring a no-confidence motion against you.
Any confidence? No confidence. Allah. Let them move any confidence. The government is here to give the reply and to defend the
Is
government.
Congress united, sir?
100% united.
Well, that can only be described then as a breakfast bonhomie, as two of Karnataka's tallest leaders sit down to iron out their differences, their power tussle, and hopefully arrive at some semblance of a power-sharing agreement. At least that's what the bone of contention is between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar at yet another round of breakfast tomorrow. Well, moving from politics to the weather now. For days, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh were bracing for Cyclone Ditwa, especially after the system wreaked havoc on the Sri Lankan coastline, killing over 150 and displacing hundreds more. However, the cyclonic system itself is reported to have weakened into a deep depression over the Bay of Bengal as it moves upwards parallel to the North Tamil Nadu coastline, bringing widespread rains to the state as well as neighboring Andhra Pradesh. Now, it's been a rainy night in Chennai. Most areas in the city have reported over 50 millimeters of rainfall in overnight precipitation. In Chennai, the northern suburb of Ennur recorded the highest rainfall at 5.58 centimeters, while South Chennai's Adyar, Velachery, Palikarnai and Sholinganallur logged around 3 to 3.7 centimeters. Now, some might say this is good news to the city, especially given the less than normal rainfall recorded through all of November. However, the fact is that nearly a few hours of rains have thrown the city relatively out of gear, especially along arterial South Chennai roads like the Rajiv Gandhi IT Expressway. So where do the rains go from here? And can Tamil Nadu and Andhra expect more rainfall? And more significantly, do both regions run the risk of widespread destruction? Or has South India just about escaped the fury of Ditwa, which battered Sri Lanka? Now, to speak to all this and more, I am now joined by AVM GP Sharma, President at SkyMet. Mr. Sharma, firstly, thanks so much for joining us on the bulletin. What is your rainfall prediction for both Andhra and Tamil Nadu over the next 24 hours? Should both states be on high alert as we expect these rains to continue?
Thank you. See, to me it appears the worst is over. Okay. As you said, the storm has already weakened to a deep depression. And by now, I think it's down to depression itself, and further weakening is likely. We had two very freak storms, I will say, in the last week of November, including this one, Ditwa. Through and through, it moved north, very unusual track from Sri Lanka, and it's continuing moving in the same direction. Sometime on 26th of November, it formed over close to the equatorial region, and thereafter it has been moving northward. And it has already crossed a beam Chennai now. It is almost a depression now, which is off the coast of south coastal Andhra Pradesh, we can say. At the moment, the cloud cluster is still associated with the system, which is extending along the coastline from south coastal Andhra Pradesh and going further into Machilipatnam, Visakhapatnam and at Kakinada region. But most of the clouds, I still feel that is over the sea rather than over a deep inland. Okay. As you brought out, it had caused havoc over Sri Lanka, basically for the reason because the island country's length and width were too small. and on either side it was with a wide ocean on whether it's Pak State, Gulf of Mannar, on this side, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean. So all that put together, it brought havoc to that country and then claimed almost as per the news about more than 330 lives there. Okay, but then as I said now, after crossing Abeam, Chennai, it has weakened. It has weakened considerably now. Okay, and further weakening is likely. Notwithstanding, rains are still expected.
Right,
like
Mr.
Chennai
Sharma.
today has rained heavily. It is still expected in the next 24 hours. After that, I expect them to ease out a little. Yeah.
Well, it certainly is a relief, like you rightly pointed out, the fact that it has weakened into a deep depression. But I have to ask you, for the longest time now, Chennai and most parts of northern Tamil Nadu were preparing for a wet weekend and probably, the worst of Sundays in recent times insofar as rainfall activity is concerned. But what we've had now is a dry weekend versus a very rainy Monday. Do you think weather forecasters and weather bloggers probably got it wrong in terms of timing as to when the wettest or the worst of weather would in fact strike Chennai or northern Tamil Nadu?
The cyclones, they have two centers. One is the wind center, the other one is the cloud center. Okay, in this case, there was a lot of mismatch. Not that it doesn't happen other times, but many a times they coincide. But this time, like the storm center has just crossed Abeam, Chennai, a little later in this afternoon only, but the cloud cluster was far ahead of that, far ahead. And that is how Chennai didn't rain yesterday also, day before also marginal. Total 2 days put together, it rained about 40 millimeters, just about 40. Whereas earlier there was a heavy rainfall over the south coastal Tamil Nadu, whether it was Kudalur, Karaikal, Tondi, Pamban, Tuticorin, and Nagapattam, and south of it, the rains eased out a little. Okay, so that was because of that, because as the position of cyclone now is a little north of Chennai, but the cloud cluster is way ahead of that. It is already extending from Nellore, Ongole, and going across Bapatla and then further
Absolutely.
up to Machilipatnam. Okay, so the rains are going to confine to that area.
Absolutely.
Chennai rains are going to ease out. Okay, anytime soon. It is not expected. In the night, I don't expect severe any intensity rain. It is mostly the south coastal Andhra Pradesh which have to watch out for another 24 hours. But still, the severity of the rains now, I don't expect that much, which normally they are associated with the storm. As I said, most of it they are confined to the sea region. But still, we got to watch out for another 24 hours. Yeah, that's it.
Right. Right. So Tamil Nadu could probably breathe easy while south coastal Andhra will have to, of course, remain on alert. But I have to ask you, Mr. Sharma, Tamil Nadu has had less than normal rainfall through all of November this year, in stark contrast to recent times. While there is indeed a cause for worry, do you feel incoming December rainfall could probably offset this rainfall deficit for Tamil Nadu for the month of November?
This is the poorest November in the last about 5 years for the pan-India as such. For northeast monsoon, wherein we have the 5 subdivisions, including one Tamil Nadu, that is Kerala, South Interior, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. Excuse me. The rains were very little over Tamil Nadu. Pardon me. Rains were very little over Tamil Nadu, but the month of November is the rainiest month otherwise. Northeast monsoon has been activity very little this month. Fortunately, October was good.
Absolutely.
Northeast monsoon in the month of November was just 18% shortfall is there still for Tamil Nadu, whereas it is much more on the other subdivisions. It is as much as 70 to 80% shortfall. Okay, Tamil Nadu that way, but then, as I said, this is the chief rainiest month for Chennai, but somehow in the next about say week or 10 days, I expect only moderate showers. There are not going to be any heavy showers for the city of Chennai as well. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, Mr. Sharma, let's hope for the best, moderate showers or not, and let's hope the year does not turn out to be a rainfall deficit one, especially for South India. On that note, thank you so much for joining us and breaking down those insights on the weather as we hope the cloud passes over, but the general rainfall remains healthy for the rest of the year. Great speaking to you as always. Right, moving ahead, the Enforcement Directorate has issued a show-cause notice to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and senior government officials of the Kerala Infrastructure Investment Board for alleged violations to foreign exchange rules. Reports say the incident in question involves transactions pertaining to a land purchase with irregularities to the Foreign Exchange Management Act and the RBI's master directions. The case stems from the KIFB's fundraising through masala bonds listed in the London and Singapore stock exchanges. The agency is then alleged to have raised over 2,600 crore rupees and used a part of these funds thereafter to purchase land, an activity specifically prohibited by RBI regulations. Right, moving on now. Companies may not have had big bang AI budgets thus far, but smaller workflows are seeing a slow and steady transformation towards becoming AI use cases. That's the word coming in from Bengaluru-based Kyndryl India's president, Lingaraju Saukar. In an exclusive chat with ET Now, Lingaraju also said skill gaps in AI are to be expected, but the country is still ahead of the curve in acknowledging AI as the future. Here's a slice of that conversation I had with the Kyndryl India boss.
I would look at this specific time of where we are in right now as a confluence of three different things. One is, of course, there's a whole geopolitical economic angle to it and how the business will react to that. That's one side of it. The second is tech itself, right? The change in trajectory of how tech has evolved along with AI and agentic and cyber is another big trajectory. But the third more important thing is the industries themselves, the companies themselves, how they're looking at customers, how they want to grow their business. So this is a great point in time where all three are coming together and helps lift it up. I think, of course, Karnataka has been one of the leading players in the tech world, has been the incubation for the tech services industry. And as an outcome of that, it's got a strong built-up base. But the recent announcements by the minister about the investments and the export is going to come from both from 2-3 areas. One is the domestic consumption itself, where the companies in India, companies in the state will invest and grow their IT landscape through AI, through cyber, protecting through cyber, and also in programs that look for acquiring new customers, retaining customers, bringing efficiency into their delivery cycles, and making sure. So that's one investment frame. The second investment frame is you've seen the GCCs themselves, right? The GCCs themselves where because of the opportunity of talent, the opportunity of value creation that happens out here, you'll see a lot more global companies coming and setting up centers out here. So that's a great opportunity for organizations to really see how that's coming up. And the third is the engineering centers, right? That's a new stream that's actually come in, especially the engineering R&D centers or ER&DC as they call it across. Again, talent is available. The other thing is the ability to deploy them into the whole space locally is a great opportunity. So that's the third space. But the fourth space, which I would call, is the policies of the government itself, both the central government and the state government. If you look at it, India's been ahead on the digital transformation journey. If you look at digital public infrastructure that India's been one of the pioneers in, that has built a very good platform, whether you look at UPI, Aadhaar, and the whole area. Now you layer on top of that with the different use cases. So combination of all of these four, I'm very bullish and buoyant about the growth rate that's going to come in, but more importantly, the impact that it does to the citizen, whether you're a person contributing to the industry on the services side or whether you're a recipient of the services as a consumer. It's going to be a very different and very impactful life as we go forward.
I want to quickly focus on AI itself. In fact, a recent EY study has outlined how 47%, it's a large number, of Indian companies are no more merely testing AI models, but are actually having live use cases. Again, where does this leave you with opportunities, and in which sectors specifically do you see a large chunk of AI opportunities as far as India is concerned for Kyndryl?
Yeah, I think, Jude, the way I would look at this is that there are various reports on AI and AI readiness. We recently announced Kyndryl's AI readiness report. The way we look at that is very specifically to India, and India is on a better track than the rest of the world. we're at least about 6-7 points better on various parameters. First parameter is the fact that do companies see AI as integral part of how they envision the future? India is almost 97%, 91%. That's almost 4 to 5 points better than somebody else. But when you go to the next level, the how part of it, that's where I think there's an opportunity for everyone. Clearly, I think the good part is every industry, every sector is looking at how do they reimagine their future with AI. So that's one broad area. Within that, which part of it do I take to start with and which part do I take over a long haul? The way I look at this is that AI is not one big bag thing that happens. So our approach is that look for day-to-day projects that you're doing today, infuse AI into it. So we have a concept called, our Kyndryl framework is built around the fact that look for what you're doing today with smaller chunks and solve to that, and the big piece will get integrated. So for example, we bring in a concept called an ingestion engineer. The ingestion engineer is an agentic AI solution that embeds into a customer's environment and tunnels through to figure out what is your current way of working, what's your current process. So we're not saying AI to solve piece parts, but you solve the workflow and look at end-to-end. Then we bring in the next capability called a forward engineer, who then defines what's your end state and how do you come back from your end state down to where you are through the agentic AI. So that approach has been an opportunity for us. From an industry perspective, practically almost every industry is finding a great value. I'll start with banking and financial services, which is obviously the biggest spender in tech. Telecom, another bigger spend. In banking and financial services, it's a lot about onboard customers. It's a lot about customer journeys, how well you can make that simpler. A lot about how do you look at the insight that comes into the data that exists in your organization, and through that data, what better customer insight can you get? It's so that you can serve your customer the better. So that's one frame. Similarly, when you look at telecom, again, it's a lot about today when you can go to, we're working with one of our telecom customers where we are able to look at their whole web portal and platform, where today when you go into you can log in and say, look, this is my previous plan, and you want to pick and choose a plan, and you go through a menu-driven way. But now, the future is you go into a prompt and just say, suggest a good plan for me, and with all the data they have about you and your consumption and thing, it will recommend the right plan for you, which is the right thing for you. So those are kind of things.
But you are bullish, but the fact remains that the EY report that I also refer to also makes mention of the fact that while a lot of companies are bullish about AI, see transformation happening, not many spending the big bucks. In fact, a very minuscule part of multiple companies' tech budgets are actually set aside for AI. Is this bound to be a problem or a mismatch between what companies intend to do, what companies talk about doing, and what they're actually doing?
I have a slightly different point of view on this. As I said, there's nothing called a big bang AI budget, because AI is not just about a tech change, it's also about change management, it's about people, and it's also a lot about the way of how you do your work differently. So it's not going to be an easy journey by just saying, I'm going to cut a check and things get done. It's not that one big bang thing. What is here is that identify those workflows and use cases in your organization that can be changed and has a better impact. And through that you partner. Some of them can be POCs, but beyond the POCs, you can link it back to the outcomes. So we're seeing those kind of cases come up. I'm yet to see someone who's coming and saying, I'm here today, tomorrow, here's the money and big bang. Nobody wants to do that because it's got a lot of others in it. And the success we have seen a lot more is where their own employees, their own people are able to come forward and say, look, here's a different way of doing the work that I was doing before. Right. And those have the best impact of success because you've already gone through the change management. So we are working on that aspect. Right. We recently launched a practice called organizational change management, which precisely focuses on this area and says that how do you ensure that your organization gets ready for what they can do through themselves for the future.
But I also have to ask you, in terms of AI itself, your study, in fact, with Microsoft also points to a bit of a talent glut that exists. While a lot of companies want to transform their businesses with AI, and a lot of companies believe that quicker AI adoption is good for business, is there talent available? And that continues to be, in fact, the million-dollar question. How problematic is it that well into our discourse on AI, years after we've started talking about it, the talent problem continues to stare us in the face?
I think the way I would look at this, look, with every change, when you start off, there is always going to be a phase where there's a skill gap that is from what is available to what is needed. But having said that, with the new technologies that are available, with vibe coding available, and technically you don't need to code anymore, but you can actually put your spoken English into generating code. So with a lot of that coming in place, I think it's a matter of time and Thailand is getting ready for it.
Well, lots to look forward to as far as AI is concerned, especially with smaller workflows there getting automated. That's the word from Kyndryl. Well, finally, moving on, actor Samantha Ruth Prabhu just got hitched. The Tamil and Telugu actor married Raj Nidimoru at the co-creator of hit online show Family Man at an intimate ceremony at the Isha Yoga Center in Coimbatore. In pictures shared by the actor on social media, Samantha is seen wearing a bright red sari with gold jewelry, while Raj is dressed in a white kurta with a beige Nehru jacket. Both Samantha and Raj, who reported to be dating for a few months now, well, we just wish them all the very best then on that new journey together. And on that happy note, it's all the time we have on the bulletin, but we'll be back tomorrow with more news and updates from South India. For the moment, it's goodbye from us.